Hi there, I'm Alicia Malone, and since our star of the month is George Brent, we've been enjoying a variety of his films tonight. Next, we have a fast and fun comedy from 1936, directed by Ray Enright and starring George Brent with Genevieve Tobin, Glenda Farrell, Patricia Ellis, and frequent comedic sidekick Frank McHugh. It's Snowed Under. With a screenplay by F. Hugh Herbert and Brown Holmes, the story follows a playwright, Alan Tanner, played by George Brent, who is struggling to come up with a good third act for his next play. He's sequestered himself in his house in Connecticut, and his first wife, played by Genevieve Tobin, is sent there to help him finish. But they're not alone for long. Soon, the small house also has his second wife, played by Glenda Farrell, his girlfriend, played by Patricia Ellis, a lawyer, and a local deputy who all stay the night during a snowstorm. Warner Brothers had bought the film rights to the book, which was serialized in Liberty magazine. The author was Lawrence Saunders, a pseudonym for the husband and wife writing team John and Claire Davis. They jointly published novels and short stories under that name, and John Davis also used it for some of his solo work. Snowed Under was one of those, and it was to be his only work adapted by Hollywood. Davis wasn't entirely pleased with the screen adaptation, but said he wasn't complaining, quote, "I was uncommonly well treated by Warner Brothers. Just a year ago, they paid off all my creditors and bought my wife a mink coat. I got a pair of new shoes and a new secondhand car." Okay, from 1936, enjoy Snowed Under. Snowed Under is a fun comedy, and reviewers in 1936 really enjoyed it. Variety's critic called it a nice comedy entry, noting that director Ray Enright milks every situation for laugh returns without deviating from farce implications of the plot. The Hollywood Reporter said the film was madly hilarious. There are so many delightful moments in this show, it is difficult to list the high points. However, the New York Times wasn't as generous, calling it a loud, witless, and tiresome farce. They battle and shout through the snowbound lodge and amid the palpably artificial snowdrifts. Snowed Under was designed as a programmer, a simple B-movie, bringing together members of the Warner Brothers stock company who worked frequently together. Our friend, the author Jeremy Arnold, wrote about this on TCM's website, noting that George Brent had worked with Genevieve Tobin on The Goose and the Gander, and with Glenda Farrell on The Keyhole, and with Patricia Ellis on 42nd Street and Stranded. All in all, at the end of George Brent's film career, he had made over 85 movies, most of them during the 1930s and 40s. And that means we have plenty more in our George Brent Star of the Month marathon. Up next, he plays a Navy veteran flyer whose younger brother wants to join him in the air in a 1939 action film also starring John Payne and Olivia de Havilland.
Next on TCM, Wings of the Navy, then God's Country and a Woman, and later Front Page Woman. George Brent buries the lead tonight.